Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, the Innkeeper, and you've come to watch our live call-in talk show all about the Wheel of Time. Now, tonight is kind of our chill evening here at the Dusty Wheel. Just grab a beer, sit down, and just relax as we talk about the Wheel of Time. We're going to hit on some random topics. We're going to do this thing we call the Wheel of Game Time. Spin a wheel and just pick a topic and hear my panelists riff on that. So instead of just throwing out the news right now, let me just bring my panelists in and let's just jump into this. So welcome to the show to my favorite three, Mary, Todd, and Tal. It's awesome to see you. Oh, we just have Mary and Todd right now. Tal will be with us shortly. So you two, before we jump into the kind of the exciting news that we all heard about over the last 2 days, I want everyone to know I told you there's going to be some big announcements, some giveaways. So let's do that first. So next Watt Wednesday happens to be my birthday. I know, the wheel wove it just like that. So in the end of the day, I love to celebrate my birthday when other people are enjoying themselves. So I'm going to give away just some fun stuff for my birthday, and that starts tonight. So the first giveaway that I'd like to do in light that we'll actually announce this live next week, but all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like this video, and make a comment. In that comment, tell us what your favorite episode of the show has been, who your favorite panelist is, or just tell us what your favorite Wheel of Time book is. Just leave us a comment. That's all you have to do. And then next week's show, we'll do this special little giveaway. Now the giveaway, I'll tell you what this is going to be right away. We're going to give away an entry ticket into JordanCon 2021. So basically, that's the one. I think Brandon Sanderson always comes every couple years, and I think he's showing up that one. And wouldn't it be awesome if Amazon Prime, kind of Wheel of Time, Amazon Prime sent somebody to that one? Anyway, we're going to give away just a ticket. And it's not a plane ticket. It's not a hotel room. It's just a ticket into the event itself. But we think that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, all you have to do, again, just subscribe, like, and comment. Tell your friends if they want a chance to get involved in this. Now, this is not the only giveaway. We'll talk about another one tonight. And I'm just going to do a bunch across Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We'll start mentioning those throughout the next week because, again, it's my birthday and I get to do that. I can give away stuff if I want to, as they say. So that is the deal. That's the giveaway that I want to tell you about. But to go along with that, the special announcement I wanted to remind or tell everyone about was next Wednesday, our special guest will be Daniel Green. He's going to jump in, Mr. Fantasy News himself. He's going to be here with us. We're going to be talking all the news from the last month, Wheel of Time related, what he thinks, get his opinion on everything we found out. And he'll be part of this giveaway. Well, I'll have him maybe pick a name out of a hat or something. We'll do something fun with him on here. So yeah, Daniel Green will be with us for next Watt Wednesday, the birthday episode. We'll do a lot of fun giveaways. So, and like I said, later on in the show, we'll talk about another thing. By the way, we're trying out some new software tonight. So if there's anything funky that happens with the live stream, feel free to mention it here in the chat. I'm watching your comments, and we'll try to fix it. But anyway, we're trying something out new tonight, and we'll see how that turns out. So that being said, how are you guys doing tonight? Todd, Tal, Mary, are you ready to jump into some of the news?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Our first piece of news, which I think is the most exciting of what we've heard over the last couple of days, has to do with the fact that WattSeries.com and actually scooped this that Kieran Donnelly is the director of the season 1 finale of The Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. Now, if you notice in the upper right-hand corner, this is funny for the fans because this post by Kieran was actually, I don't know when Kieran put the director at Watt on Prime there, but I do know this is my next directing assignment. He had commented on that like a good month ago, and no one had noticed it. So I thought that was funny that even though WattSeries.com had scooped it, nice job, those guys, but in fact, it is just sitting there, just waiting for all of us to discover it afterwards. So Kieran is going to be the director of the finale. Now, there's lots of theories now about this. Does the finale mean episodes 7 and 8? Because we now know 4 directors. They each seem to be taking 2 episodes. And so I saw a lot of people say that this is going to be a 7 and 8 situation. No confirmation. We're just assuming finale means episode 8. Now, for those of you that maybe haven't been tracking all the news, we believe it's 8 episodes because of another site, Redanian Intelligence, actually found a little, I don't know what you'd call it, but it's just something that's kind of post news about kind of production, and one of them said, see, there'd be 8 episodes. So we're all kind of believing that, and it does seem to be leading us that way. Mary, are you excited about Kieran Donnelly kind of jumping in here into the, like, I guess, what did you think when you first heard about this?
Well, when we finally heard about it, it was pretty good. Altered Carbon is pretty entertaining, and Vikings. I'm leaning towards maybe the end is going to be a little bit on the bloody side, perhaps.
Okay. Yeah.
Could be. So I guess they are going to do the big battle somewhere, whether it be at Tarwin's Gap or over the Tomon Head. We don't know yet, but
that's the funniest part about this, right? Even when they give us some information, it just makes it a little bit more muddier, right? It's not necessarily
Isn't
more
it
clear.
Awesome.
Because even though you just said, like maybe they're bringing him in for some action scenes, that doesn't necessarily tell us where that action scene is going to be across both of those. Tal, what was your reaction when you found out Kieran was going to be directing the finale?
I'm jazzed. I can't say that I've watched a lot of the shows that he's worked on, but I have watched a few. And I did go back and pay attention to episode titles and stuff. So I'm jazzed. I personally think the finale will be 1 episode. And maybe he's just also directing episode 7.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm real excited.
I was seeing everybody's talking about Altered Carbon in chat, like that. I'd seen it was certainly like it's very kind of sci-fi cool what he's done there with that. And I kind of wonder how much of that, like you said, Mary, is going to come into from an action scene perspective, right? Like it's a pretty brutal show, and it kind of makes you wonder, right? Is this Tarwin's Gap, or like you said, is this Falmey? Or is this something else? It's kind of hard to imagine what else it might be. I'm kind of curious, everyone in chat, what do you think this means? Do you think he's going to be doing episodes 7 and 8? And where do you think that now, with everything we've gotten, where do you think season 1 is going to end? Is this Tarwin's Gap? Is this some middle spot is still for you in the Great Hunt, or is this at the end of the Great Hunt? Kind of curious. So yeah, no, Todd, what did you think about that? As far as the director Kieran Donnelly coming on.
I'll just be real honest with you. I'm not a big director guy. I don't keep up with directors. So
do you watch Vikings at all?
I've watched Vikings, and I've watched a couple of Altered Carbon, but I couldn't tell you that he directed them because that's just not something that I keep up with very much.
Yeah.
So I mean, as long as he does a good job, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I would say this, and I think this is turning out to be true. The production value seems like, as far as who they're bringing into this, it continues to be kind of this drumbeat of interesting, really experienced individuals that have done shows that a lot of us already find really captivating and interesting. And so hopefully that same thing translates to the show. So let's jump into our next piece of news that came out just recently. This one was a lot of fun, and I still don't know how to explain it. This makes me want to do another episode Jenga kind of episode live show, as far as figuring out how each one of these episodes is going to turn out in season 1, because now we have Claire Perkins here with Peter Franzen. Claire Perkins is playing Corinne Nagashi, and Peter Franzen is playing her warder, apparently, like what you saw right there. Here, throw that image right back up again. Let me just read that. When Claire wrote on Instagram, "Loved this job, me and my warder." Right, that was kind of a big note to the fans. Like no one knew who Peter Franzen. We knew he was a warder. We just didn't know whose. So in this question, the question here is that Corinne has 2 warders, and so a lot of people are wondering what this signifies. Right? Does this mean that we're going to get a flashback? Is she going to still be alive in kind of the current day when the season begins? Are we going to see? Her is she going to die? I mean, this says loved her job. From Peter Franzen, I think on Instagram, he posted something like he was at home. Like they seem to be done with their part, at least for the season, of what they were hired on to do. And I guess I'm kind of curious, Tal, do you have any kind of theory about what this all might mean and how this is going to turn out as far as getting a flashback or what?
I do. I really, really, really hope that it means that we get a good chunk of time that turns out to be New Spring material. All of the promotional material that we've seen speaks of Maureen being front and center as the primary character, whether that's to subvert sort of the trope of young man on an adventure, or whether it's to, you know, capitalize on sort of increasing diversity and leading female characters in sort of mainstream television, not just fantasy. I truly think that they're going to focus a lot on Maureen's sort of development and why she's doing what she's doing, and what her perspective and her context and what her underlying reasons are for plucking those boys out of Emmons Field in the first place. And the only real good way to do that is to give us some of the material we saw in New Spring, including Kareen. So I wouldn't say no to a whole episode that turns out to be a flashback.
You think an entire episode you think they would give an entire episode to this backstory about Moraine?
20 minutes? Something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, because let's go a little bit deeper here. And I saw some comments. I'm kind of curious what everyone's theory is about this. Are we staying in New Spring? Is this just a flashback? So I guess, is it flashback or is it current day, right? Is she going to be in the show, you know, going after Logain? And, you know, are we going to see her? And she's just not, you know, they don't need to necessarily follow the plot of the previous books as far as plucking a character out of New Spring potentially and bringing them in to the current day, while potentially exposing the Black Aja, right? They could do that, but have it be something that's happening now instead of taking us back and seeing it. So that's the kind of the other potential theory there. But Peter Franzen, now we know that he mentioned in a news article that he was part of like large battles. And we know that Alvaro Morte was there at the same time. We know from episodes 5 and 6, the table read, that there were a lot of people in Prague. That is suggestive. Now, that doesn't mean that they didn't do their own, like they weren't filming in 2 or 3 different spots, and that these weren't separate incidents. But Franzen's talking about big battles that he's a part of. I mean, if we go back to New Spring and Kareen, what big battles Mary, does anything like ring a bell? Like what big battles would her warder be part of?
The Battle of the Shining Walls.
Sure. Yeah.
That could be.
You
could
there was
just
there,
a little
right?
skirmish there. Yeah, it depends on how. I like New Spring is one of my favorites in the entire series. I love the story, both the original version and the expanded version, and I think it should be in the live adaptation because it explains, the whole hierarchy of the White Tower. It explains why everybody is looking for the dragon in a way that makes sense to the viewer. It's an opportunity to introduce, the mystery of the dragon. Who is the dragon? Who is the dragon reborn? Yeah. We don't know. And you can see some of these players. You can see Morin. You can see Lan. You can see Swan. You could see Karine and Alana and Varen, hopefully. Come on, Varen.
Right.
Hunting, you could see some of them get killed to show how, dire this situation is, to find out who the dragon is. And, you could, okay, hey, look, it's over here. It's Alvaro Morte and it's Logain and he's the dragon. Ha ha ha. But really? And, it would make a good TV twist to throw all that in. It can be done in flashbacks. It could be done, they could futz with the timeline. Instead of it being 20 years ago, it could be 5 years ago. It could be, last year.
Yeah. Last year.
It functionally doesn't matter.
Okay.
The purpose of it is to show Moraine, to show Lan, to show the hunt for the dragon reborn and how dangerous it is. And, yeah, depending on how they do it, whether it be I don't think it would work well as a standalone episode. I think that's, that would be too, you'd lose the momentum of the show. But flashbacks here, flashbacks there, you can use that to make the journey out of the two rivers seem longer, because you have to throw in these flashbacks. It could be done that way.
It could be Lost style, Matt.
Yeah, no, that's true,
Ugh.
right? It absolutely could be, right? And they may have gone down that road. You brought up, and by the way, everyone that's watching, there's inevitably we're going to spoil something tonight, something having to do with the Wheel of Time. So if you're new to the books, know that we're not going to do it on purpose. We're not going to probably go to the very end and tell you anything that's going to happen there, but you're going to hear some things. You're going to
totally
purposely throw it in, Mary?
Oh yeah, I totally am.
just to try it. By the way, I'm kind of curious in chat. Battle of the Shining Walls. Give me thumbs up or thumbs down that you agree or disagree with this idea that is what Franzen and Perkins, that their characters are part of. Kind of curious. They could. I mean, if you brought this up as far as, I think, Tal, you brought up The Witcher, right? You brought up this idea that maybe we have an entire episode that we don't even know maybe it's more clear as you kind of get to know people that there's something else going on here, that it is a flashback. And by the end of the episode, that we find out that, oh yeah, this is something that was happening a long time ago. And I like that idea more so than a Lost, than the whooshing sound from Lost and jumping into the past and jumping back, I'd prefer that. Wow, you have some support and some it's kind of 50-50 what I'm watching so far. So as far as this goes, Todd, what do you want? I mean, is this what you think you're seeing? We're seeing some prolonged, maybe flashback scenes, maybe episode 5 and 6 that's happening here?
I hope so, because that's the way I would like to see it. I'm just sitting here trying to remember if it was just us throwing it around that maybe there would be some Tam flashbacks, or was that something that was put out in the news? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, somebody I did see that in Discord, I think, and I saw that elsewhere. The potential of, I think it was, I want to say Sarah James on Twitter mentioned Tam. Yeah, I think that's who it was.
Yeah, so see, that's to me is something that they could a lot of that together. Not together, but there would be ways of doing the flashbacks with Tam and with Kareen and with Moraine and make it work, I think.
Yeah, that's an interesting piece, potentially bringing Tam into this. Like Dana just said in chat, Tam flashbacks, please. Yeah, that'd be nice. I think these two pieces of news are really interesting. There is something she posted, a script selfie, and that script selfie was from episodes 5 and 6. So it shows that she's back in Prague right now doing this, and others were leaving. And so the question was, she plays Liana, and the question is, why is she coming in there when they're leaving? Are they going to transition? Like Natalia's saying, we have this whole flashback sequence, and then that transitions into what we know as the chapter for episode 6, the title of that. Maybe that transitions to the White Tower in current day. But that would really mean that we're slowing down a bit. I mean, I don't know how you would do episode 5 with a full episode as a flashback and get deep into the Great Hunt. So that again makes us kind of question this timeline thing. Like the timeline is killing me. I just don't exactly know. By the way, we can throw that up on the screen. The script selfie is a lot of fun because I love her comment here is like, "Ah, sheet." That's great. For the Wheel of Time series, she hashtagged that. Both Jennifer and then also we know Sally Richardson, who's the director of episodes 5 and 6. She had a little video up on Instagram where she talked about how great this experience has been. She looks forward to kind of, going home, but how wonderful this is, and she can't wait till they can share it. Kind of sounds like episodes 5 and 6 are going to be wrapping up here shortly from a production standpoint, and we know that the end of production is at the end of May. So it's suggestive that we're going to get maybe episodes 7 and 8 coming in. Maybe they've been holding off on episodes 3 or 4. I kind of doubt it. My guess is we just never saw the table read for 3 and 4. The last piece of interesting news before we jump into a segment that we call Wheel of Time Rants and Raves. I want to show the last image we have from news. One on the left, the piece on the left is from Yosha Stradowski, who plays Rand. He and a lot of their cast posted an image or images of this river that they were working by. But then one of the fans, I can't remember who it was that found the site. It might have been Casper, it might have been Geekieri. They found these images that I show two of on the right-hand side, which was from a news article back in October. And it just hadn't gotten a lot of... It was, I'm not sure where the news article was at, but it wasn't in English. And it just didn't, people just didn't find it. And it has a lot of these images. The show's an individual in this upper right, in like a white shift. Some people kind of wonder if this is like a stunt actress for Nynaeve. That was a suggestion. Is this the same river that they were working in? That was, again, it was just kind of fun. This isn't like spoil anything. It's just, it just adds kind of a layer to what they were doing in the production side and just kind of, seeing a little bit behind the scenes, if you will. So I liked that a lot, just kind of connecting those two. So anyway, before we jump into Wheel of Time rant and raves, that is the news we're going to cover tonight. Be back with us next Watt Wednesday. We're going to just go through every single piece of news from, like I said, the last entire month, and we'll cover that with Daniel Green. That'll be a lot of fun. But before we do that, I want to make another announcement of one of the things coming up in March. On March 18th, that's 3 Watt Wednesdays from now, I'm going to be interviewing Michael Kramer and Kate Redding. They're going to be here with us at the Dusty Wheel talking all about their experiences. I can't wait to have them in. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, you just never know. That'll be a live call-in talk show just like this one. And so, yeah, please make sure, keep tuning in on Wednesdays with us. Like I said, subscribe, like, and be back here every Wednesday. We do this live call-in talk show. Maybe you'll get a chance to call in and talk to Michael Kramer and Kate Redding. I don't know, maybe we'll have to run some type of fun contest. Again, it'll just be like sharing the channel, and then we'll pick somebody. So we'll figure that out. That'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait to have them. We'll post that all over social media here soon. But like I said, I'm excited for next Watt Wednesday, and so I'm just throwing stuff out. We have lots of other announcements. Maybe I'll throw another one out in this show. I'll probably save some for the weekend and up until my birthday. See, I need to have more birthdays is all I'm saying. So, so before we jump into Watt Rant and Raves, I want to remind everybody this is a live call-in talk show. If this is the first time you've been with us, know that you can give us a call. You might be on hold for a bit as we get things going, but yeah, feel free to give us a call. I think the number right there is on your screen: 1-313-825-5968. That's 1-313-825-5968. If you come into the show, just depending on when, you might be part of the Wheel of Game Time, which is a lot of fun. But to start off Wheel of Time rant and raves, I think let's start off with the rant. And I'm going to throw it over to you, Mary. What's your Wheel of Time rant and rave of the month, I guess?
Okay. You would catch me with there an airplane going over, but that's all right. I'll just talk louder. All right. So spoilers, I guess, because my rant is going to be from Memory of Light.
Oh, it is a spoiler, so let's do that.
And I've got it bookmarked with my sleeve because I'm chaotic neutral. All the way in the back of the book. So spoilers, all right? This is a topic that people love to talk about for reasons that I really don't understand. So here, let me find it again. I did. Okay.
Because nerds.
Okay. You know what? I love nerds. I am a nerd. And we've crawled through this series with a fine-tooth comb. We have gone through things at the subatomic level. And
literally.
Yeah, I've done things to the Wheel of Time series that would make my high school lit teachers weep for joy. Okay. But this one drives me nuts.
Let's hear
and
it.
it's the pipe. It's the dang pipe. Okay, so it's one line at the very end. It's on page 907 of A Memory of Light.
You're going all the way back. I mean, anyone that's watching is like,
spoilers.
wow. You just went right to the end of the
last
book.
page.
Yeah. So,
Go
okay.
for it.
So everybody who cares about spoilers is hopefully turned away. All right. He regarded his pipe, riding up a little incline to the side of Thakandar, now covered in plants. No way to light the tabak. He inspected it for a moment in the darkness and then thought of the pipe being lit, and it was. And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, what is it? Is it the true power? Is he, bending reality?" It's a terangriel. I mean, come on. It's the easiest Occam's razor solution. We've had examples of terangriel throughout the series that use the power to do something. And you don't even have to be a channeler. You don't even have to be awake. You don't even have to be alive to use some of these terangriel. So why there's so much theorizing about, I realize it's the very end of the series and we've been theorizing about this series since the early 90s, and it's hard to let go, but please let go of the pipe.
Let go of the pipe. I love that as a last. By the way, you ended our first Wheel of Time rant moment with a great "please let go of the pipe." And by the way, for those that are watching, we'll be covering the pipe as a Wheel of Time topic shortly. So you have to deal with that, Mary. So let's.
My God.
We need to follow that up with a little love that I'm going to give to Natalia. So we got a rant, but you can't have so much negative energy here. So let's go positive. Nat, let's hear that. What's your rave? What's your Wheel of Time rave do you want to give us?
I really love our fandom. It's a real general rave, but I can't tell you how happy the fandom has been making me since this series got approved. It's real exciting to see people embracing everybody with open arms, being real patient with each other, allowing people to make ridiculous, totally outlandish guesses, like an entire episode of New Spring, and being like gentle and entertaining. And the use of GIFs in this fandom is so great. I can't wait for us to surpass Supernatural. I'm real jazzed.
I love that. I love it. Yours ended with a challenge. The love of fandom. What we need to surpass Supernatural, and I think that's
in gifability. Sorry,
in gifability. Okay. The love of fandom. The one of you is saying, "Hey, fandom, let go of your damn pipe." The other one is saying, grasp a gif. I love it. So we have some callers before Todd and I get into our rants and raves. Let's bring in Daniel Taylor to the show. Hey, Daniel, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. How you doing tonight?
Oh, doing pretty well.
Well, thanks for being a caller. Appreciate that. So what about what we've spoken about yet? Do you want to talk about, or is there a particular rant or rave that you want to share with the fans?
I just had a couple questions that I wanted to see if you guys wanted to answer or take up.
Okay,
one of them was, if we're going to be seeing a lot more Moraine, particularly her backstory and things a little bit more from her perspective, that does in some way potentially conflict with the idea of trusting her less. And I was kind of wondering what balance you take between seeing her as the protagonist and not trusting her the way I feel like it was at least intended to some extent early on. And the other one was, do you think there's any chance that they postponed Logain being captured till the end of the first season? And maybe that would be the big climactic battle that they're talking about. And you see that happen along the same time frame as Rand. You come to realize he's the one. So one is dethroned while you realize that Rand might actually be a correct dragon.
Ooh, I like it,
man.
I like it.
That's kind of beautiful. I just worry about
Caemlyn. When you say you worry about Caemlyn in this regard, what do you mean?
Well, Caemlyn is full of everybody, but also lots of white cloaks, because of Logain.
Sure.
The Aes Sedai are on edge, Elaida in particular, in Caemlyn, because of Logain. He climbs that wall to get a better view of Logain. So I really love the juxtaposition between sort of dethroning and crowning a false dragon and a real dragon. It's beautiful. Like I said, I sort of question how they would retcon the flow of the story.
Yeah, but you end up skipping. Like if you remember during our live adaptation, you could kind of not skip Camelin, but you could kind of get through pretty quickly, and maybe not have this interaction. I mean, we haven't seen episode 3 and 4, but because I do love this. Dan, what a great idea, Daniel.
Yeah.
They like saving it till the end. I haven't even gone there with in my head about the series, so I love that you proposed that. But I think it would necessitate us to somewhat skip Camelin, or at least have some of those events change, which wouldn't necessarily bother me all that much.
No.
So I'm kind of, let's ask chat here. Thumbs up or thumbs down, save Logain until pretty much the end of season 1, or I guess whenever the battle at Tarwin's Gap. I mean, that's what you're proposing pretty much, Daniel, is like having those battles kind of simultaneously happening. Is that accurate?
Yeah, like around the same time you have the Forsaken show up and it becomes obvious who they're after. Have that scene flashing back and forth between the battle with Logain at the end.
Yeah, great idea. And to your other point, the trust of Moraine, I like this. I'm hopeful if we get a little bit of what Natalia said, which is some backstory of Moraine, that it comes later and that we do kind of question her loyalties up until that point. I think that'd be really good from a season perspective, maybe a first half of the season to kind of question exactly what her intent is, and then to get a little bit more about her and have a kind of a deep flashback where we come out of this by the end of the season really trusting her. That's how I'm hopeful that they would handle it, because I do want to. I want to have a lack of trust in her, at least at the beginning, what her motives are.
You can show her ruthlessness and how willing she is, how devoted she is to this cause, and you can
at the expense of everything.
Yes, and you can use that to question her trustworthiness.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, by the way,
like
Daniel,
Rand versus the cause.
Yeah. Daniel, thank you very much for calling in and giving us that idea to play around with. I really appreciate you jumping in, and give us a call next time, okay?
Take care.
Take care.
Great questions.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. It looks like we might have a rant coming in. Let's bring Josh from Texas. Hey, Josh from Texas. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Fantastic.
Good.
So it sounds like you got a rant.
Yeah.
Let me hear the rant.
This is more like a fandom rant than a
Okay.
Wheel of Time rant. But
Okay, go for it.
I'm part of the subreddit Wheel of Time and one thing I keep seeing pop up is that Rand Land is a matriarchal society, or made up of predominantly matriarchal society.
Okay.
And that it was Jordan's intention to gender flip everything and yada yada yada. But I don't see that within the writing or how most of the cultures are constructed, with the exception of formatting and a little bit of the Aiel culture. And I just want to say, I think it's because even in modern day, we live in a patriarchal society, that we see men and women existing co-equally and able to get political, social, and economic equality. And we see that as some type of gender flip, when in reality it's just closer to gender equality, I guess.
Gotcha.
And
I
that's
got you.
just something
Yeah.
I keep seeing on the sub.
So, and I would think it's dominant. I would think that shows up a lot in conversations because of the Aes Sedai, right? Because of the dominant maybe power when it comes to whether or not individual nations are demonstrating that dynamic that you think maybe doesn't exist. My guess is because the overarching power organization, I guess the way they described it in recently, shadowy, influential, all female kind of organization, the Aes Sedai. I think it's because of that, right? That you're seeing this kind of overarching group that is right so if you think about kind of what is the power, what's the largest powerful organization in the world is, certainly is a matriarchal society, right? It's this group, and so I think that's where my guess is that's where fandom comes in, and because I see what you're saying, that there are some nations where it's like it's not like Jordan did that to every single nation per se, but he did certainly take a different view of his world as compared. I don't have like a great quote from Jordan right now. I know that he's answered questions about this, but yeah, let me. Mary, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, like, the one thing that is referenced is Andor, because it always has a queen. But outside of the queen or the ruler always being a queen, men don't really hold any lesser rights or lesser positions of political power. They just can't hold the throne.
Sure.
And there's nothing that trickles down to regular Andorian society that indicates that there's any type of unequal bias against men or for women. I mean, women can be bankers, so can men, and all that jazz, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting comment. Yeah. Mary, did you have a kind of anything to add on to this? Yeah.
I always viewed the patriarchal matriarchal dichotomy as Robert Jordan was lampshading our current patriarchal norms, which he was very familiar with, being born and raised in South Carolina, and he has some very strong opinions on women and the power of women. And there was a great quote about how, women, do you want to chase rabbits or do you want to chase tigers or something along those lines? So, but something like farmatting is totally lampshading how societies can get so out of balance when a subset of it are oppressed or removed or not given the voice. And each one of the societies in Wheel of Time that was fleshed out has some level of gender binary to it. You see that in the Aiel, you see that in the Sea Folk, you see that in the White Cloaks, you see that in Andor. You even see it in Shan-Chen. It's all there now. To your point, just because they can't be the supreme leader doesn't mean that they are a lesser. They hold a lesser role in society. That's really kind of. I feel that's dependent on which area you're in. I mean, you don't see very many women innkeepers throughout the entire book, do you?
Like two.
I'd say you do, but not. I mean, Ibu Dar is all female innkeepers because that's part of their tradition or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that is an interesting, and I think that goes back to that question of the power dynamic being flipped, as in the overarching kind of power dynamic. Yeah. And like I said, I think there are some great. It'd be fun to do one. Maybe we should just tackle a show about this. It'd be fun to pull all of Jordan's quotes in, and because there's a lot. There's a lot of those, and a lot of the things that Harriet and others have said, and we've talked about this topic a lot. And it's a really interesting topic, interesting kind of thing that you brought up, Josh. Really appreciate you calling in with that.
I don't know if we're helping you, Josh. If we're going to talk about it, if you're tired of hearing about it on the subreddit.
He's like, yeah, we're talking about the thing.
It was just a rant.
No, I appreciate it. We dug deep into your rant. That was great.
We take rants very seriously.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks again for calling in, man. Hopefully we hear from you again. Okay. Have a good night.
I have a quick question for the.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
No, go ahead. We're still here.
Has the recent news about the Waygate changed any of your opinions on the episode breakdown of season 1 and season 1 in terms of where they'll end in the book?
Yes, certainly. And that's the annoying part about and the awesome part about all the news that we get, which is I keep on going, like it goes further in the Great Hunt, and I keep on pulling back. But I instead of me jumping in, Todd, has the Portal Way Stone Gate, or however we are referring to that now, has that changed how you think that the episodes are going to play out?
Did you say me?
Yeah, I said you.
Okay, I didn't know. No, not really. I think because I was I'm a fan of the Ways. I think I was one of the ones who wanted to keep them, and so I was happy to see that, and it makes me feel like they're going to go in there. So I do want to see it. I'm curious to see how they do it. I don't want it to be cheesy.
Yeah. No, it changes my dynamic if I believe what that is. If that is a Waygate and it's actually coming out on their way to Faldara, then it does change how I perceive it. And if it's episode 5 and 6, it changes the dynamics of that. If you add into all the news we've gotten recently, like I said, we need to do an episode that just kind of does episode Jenga again and takes it. So
Revisit.
we need to do that again.
Revisit predictions.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you calling in again. Thank you, Josh, and hopefully again, give us another call, okay?
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Bye.
So we have a couple more callers here. We'll bring them in just a second. But Todd, I want to hear we'll go back to Wheel of Time rants and raves. We got Mary's, we got Natalia's, and then we actually got a rant from a caller. That was awesome. So Todd, give us your Wheel of Time rant of the month. Let's hear it.
All right, this is for the book people, not necessarily the show people. I want everybody to know, shut up about the slog. Okay.
Yes.
We all enjoy the books for different reasons. Some of us, we like the intrigue and the politics and stuff. I like character development, and I like the slog because there is shitloads of character development in the slog. So please shut up about the slog. Read it, love it, enjoy it. It is what it is. You just got to go for it. I mean, you learn a lot about Davram Bashir. You learn, this is where I actually started to like Fail. Hated her. But through the slog, she has several POVs, and I really started to like her and understand what she was doing. You have the cleansing. I got notes. You have...
I got notes. You're like,
I always like Cat Swan. This is where this is where I really fell in love with Cat Swan. She's always my favorite character, always will be, always has been.
No.
And this is where
Hold
I
the
fell
bull
in love
up higher, Mary.
So
Katsuane is your favorite character?
I can't
believe I put you on this show, Todd. That's absurd.
I know. She is. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry.
Did you just turn? No, hold on. I feel like you just turned your rant into a rave about Katsuane.
He did, and then he hashtag sorry, not sorry. Spectacular.
You just changed this whole.
Hush up, Landfear boy. Let the man speak.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So yeah, I mean, we have the Bowl of the Winds. We have Tom's letter. We have Landfear getting reborn. She comes back. You should like it just for that reason, Matt. We have the Shido, the Shanson, Rand, and Samael. There's a lot going on in these books, and they're slow, yes, but you needed to slow down in the pace. Okay. That's my opinion on it.
Okay, I'm going to ask everybody. That's your rant. Thank you very much. That was an excellent Wheel of Time rant against the slog. By the way, I saw someone post that they need to Mary and Tal's rants and raves. We need a GIF of the pipe. I think that is a great idea.
No, we don't. No. Well, great. Maybe we do.
To everyone that's watching, I'm kind of curious.
That says Terangriel across it.
The slog, you either agree that it was a slog and it sucked, give me a thumbs up, or people need to shut up about the slog, give me a thumbs down. Let's I'm kind of curious what this one turns into. So we have a couple of other callers. Before I give my rave of the month, let's bring in Nablus has been waiting. Nablus, it's welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. How you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Hey,
great.
Good.
Hey, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind? Is it a rant? Is it a rave? Or is it something having to do with the recent news or something else?
Well, let me start with a rant. I'm just sick of these people that like Cadswain.
Yes, agreed.
I'm joking. I actually like Cadswain. I value her for what she is. I mean, obviously, she's representative, in my opinion, of the Aes Sedai in general. Just very full of themselves. She's just kind of the peak of that, I think, where she's old enough, she has experience, and then unlike a lot of the Aes Sedai, she actually deserves the attitude that she kind of, if that makes, or she earns it. That's probably a better way of putting it. So, but I didn't talk about Cadswain. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I was going to call. The comment I was going to make was actually back to the news with, like, literally every time I release it, the day after, they come out with a piece of information talking about something in my video. Like I just said, hey, we don't know who Peter Franzen is going to be, and now we know he's a warder, and Kareem, that kind of thing. So
Nablus, you need to say,
I want to go back to the timeline thing.
I don't know who Varen is, Nameless. You got to say, I don't know who Varen is. Come on, man. You can do it.
I think no. Okay, you're right. I'll make a video only about that, so they'll release it. Although I do think that it's what's her face.
You think it's
goodness.
Doyle Kennedy?
Doyle, last name.
Yeah. Right.
I think that's Varen. Yeah.
Oh wow, that would be interesting.
But
yeah,
I think that'll be her. I watched a lot. Here's the reason I say that. I think a lot of people are saying that she's Swan. If you watch a lot of interviews or any work that she's done, she doesn't have Swan's abrasiveness. At least the way that you would read it. A lot of her acting style is very much like you would think of Varen. It's kind of almost a passive aggressive, like, in the clouds type acting style. And I just feel like, man, they would have nailed Varen if they picked her. So anyways, that's why I think that. But no, I was going to say this. So I am leaning a lot more towards the fact that I think we might get, as weird as it sounds, I think if they can do this the right way, I think we're going to get a flashback of New Spring now that I hear.
You're on the New Spring side,
I really
huh?
think that's where we're headed with this.
Now,
and I'll say this for this reason. It's more this. Why Kareen Nagashi? So if they were going to bring in and do a battle, right around, I think we're going to get a battle to a flashback to a little bit further than New Spring. I think it'll be the Aiel War, is what I think we're going to see. I think that could be the battle that we're talking about, because why else would you choose Kareen Nagashi? Like I did a video talking about this. There are 208 named Aes Sedai in the books. Okay.
Nice.
Of all of the Aes Sedai, why in the world would they pick Kareen Nagashi, an Aes Sedai who died in the New Spring novel, if we weren't going to be going there? Unless they're just trying to deliberately mess with us. But there's enough Aes Sedai that they could have, to catch Logan. There are enough named people that they could have gone after rather than basically a name-dropped Aes Sedai that's barely in New Spring, right?
Yeah.
So if they're going to be expanding on that character, I just feel like, and we're going to have a warder for that character, and that warder is Peter Franzen, the most popular Finnish actor of all time. They're going to get at least an episode.
So yeah, I mean, so you're on Natalia's side. Then you're saying that you like the flashback notion, but you also like this as an entire episode potentially. Is that? I mean, are you leaning that way? Or are you fully,
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so but how does that affect?
I'm not necessarily in favor.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say how does that affect? So if we let's say we say it's a half to not full episode, that takes a lot of time from our current timeline to establish a character. How does that? Then are you still in favor of this idea that do you think they're going to go to the end of the Great Hunt still? I mean, if we're digging into
no, I don't think
where do you
I don't
think
even think if I don't think we're getting into I don't think we're getting far into the Great Hunt. I think the first season could honestly at this point end with the horn being stolen. Okay. I actually think that's where we could end.
Yeah.
And I would not have said that before. But I feel like this leads me. I'm not necessarily in favor of a flashback. I want to be clear. I think that has to be done very tactfully, because I think that can be tacky, like really tacky. If we just have like the wavy lines and we go a flashback 20 years ago, that would be
it'd be bad.
So it has to be done well if they're going to do it. But it does add a lot of backstory, and it would add, I think, a different element of world building if we got to see Tar Valon in season 1. So I just don't see them bringing in these big name actors and actresses, even though it's a small role. I cannot believe you bring in Peter Franzen to be on a scene for 3 minutes and done. It just why?
It beggars belief.
So I'm gonna throw this out there with the Portal Stone Waygate or Portal Way Stonegate concept. We have episode 5 and 6 going on right now. Is it Sally Whitfield? She's talking about kind of finishing up, but she's finishing those up. Then you have this concept of having a flashback potentially. Then you have Blood Calls Blood. Are you thinking this is like a episode 5 connection here, or is it episode 5 and 6 and it kind of bleeds over between the two and it's much more Aes Sedai focused? Is that, in other words, like Blood Calls Blood, if we look at it, are we saying, well, is that Rand Dragonmount, or what are we thinking as far as episode 5 and 6? Do you think that that's where this sits?
Yeah, I think it could come in one of two things. I think, okay, so we've got the Flame of Tarvalin, right? That's obviously when, if you go by the books in The Great Hunt, that's when Swan and Moraine basically explain what had happened. Like, hey, we started searching for Rand way back. Like, so that would be the natural segue into a flashback, right? I still am going to hold to what I said before. I think that season 1 gets wrapped in book 1, I'm sorry, gets wrapped in 4 episodes.
Wow. Okay. You're still
and
there.
I think,
yeah.
I think it's not only possible, I think it's plausible. And I feel like that's probably based on the filming and where we know and what that we know they have been filming. I think that's actually right on. I'm relatively sure that's where we're at. I think what they're going to do is not drag out, but look, if there's one thing about the Eye of the World that I think is probably the most confusing to people, right, is the ending. So if they're going to be making any major changes to season 1, I would change the way the Eye plays out. Mainly because I think you really don't even understand what happened there until probably 6 books later when you learn that Rand was actually skimming. Like, I don't even know that most fans realize that. When Rand has the staircase, that's a skimming platform that he was taking.
Sure.
So there's, but I don't think most people go back and realize that. And so you really don't even understand, because we're getting it from Rand's point of view, and Rand doesn't understand what's going on, right? So coming back to your original question, I think it's such a confusing part of the book that I think there's a lot that's open for anybody rewriting this as an adaptation to kind of make some modifications there, right? And so where we end up and where I think that we get the Portal Stone, like, I think that still fits. I just think that we're going to spend more time in Faldara catching up on the backstory of what it means to be the Dragon Reborn. That's, I guess, where I would assume based on what we have so far.
Okay. No, I think that's it's very possible. And I love that. Again, I love all the news that's come out, because it's forcing us all to kind of try to adjust. I think I had Talker on Riyadh on Sunday, and they do this fun thing where they're just going along and trying to map out. They're trying to, write down a summary of how they get through this. I'd love to hear this summary that you just did, like what those 8 episodes look like. By the way, I really appreciate you calling in and taking some time tonight and jumping on with us, man. As always, we always appreciate it. So,
I love it, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
Great job, guys.
It's fun. Hey, we'll talk to you soon. Hey, good night. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we have a couple more callers on, and one's been waiting for a long time, but I do want to give my Wheel of Time rave. We'll cover the callers, and then we'll end with a little Wheel of Game Time, and we'll spin and do some random topics. And but yeah, my Wheel of Time rave has to be Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. Look, I don't know, everyone wondered, right? Is Rafe the right guy? Can he get the right writers in with him? Can they find the right actors? Can they get, is there enough of a budget? And, we're always asking this, like, are they going to pick the right people? Moraine's so tough. And then all of a sudden we get Rosamund Pike, and then we get the Edmundsfield 5. We get all of these. We get Henny. All of these decisions that they've made, I don't know, like, this feels like I feel extremely confident at this point, as can maybe compared to last year. So my Wheel of Time rave is that Wheel of Time on Prime is doing an amazing job so far and delivering in ways that I'm excited about. And I hope that we continue, right? There's little table reads here, table reads there. I love that. And continue to hope that we get that throughout the rest of the year, and we just build into this premiere. It's building well, and I'm so excited about that. So excellently done, Rafe and team. Really appreciate that. And Sarah, yes, we see in chat, you too. Excellently done. And so let's bring in our last 3 callers of the night. And like I said, let's jump in and then get a little Wheel of Game Time going. So the person that's been waiting the longest is one of our favorites, Norm. Welcome to the show.
Norm.
How you doing, man? So,
What's up, what's up, everybody? What's up in chat? And hey, Nameless, shout out to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
So, by the way, thank you so much, Lancer, for giving us a call. And so, what is it that you want to? I don't want to cut you off too much. I know we've had a lot of callers in tonight. What is it, kind of the topic that is really on your mind? Something we ranted and raved about, or episode titles, or one of the news? What came up that made you call tonight?
Well, okay. So first off, just a couple of things. One, I do agree that I would love to see a flashback. I'm thinking it's going to be the Flame of Tarvalin. That would make sense for where this flashback episode would be, to have a nice little thing right in the middle. So you do the first 3 episodes, and then right into like episode 4 or 5, you do a nice exposition dump, and you do a nice flashback. I think that would be a nice fit. So there you go. Shout out to you, Carla, aka Tal. Next is my two raves. It's like 1A and 1A. It would be one would be Perrin forging Mjolnir. That was just beautiful. That entire chapter was just fracking beautiful. And then 1A would be Dumais Wells. I'm sorry, I would just love to see that entire, everything that leads up to it. And Ashaman kill. Enough said. Then you got the rant. Then you got the rant of all rants. Here you go. You ready? The Supergirls do not give Matt his due. It starts with Egwene. And I'm sorry, all of you Egwene lovers. And I know that Chansonnet is not on the chat, because if she was, she'd be hating me right now. But it starts with Egwene, when Matt saves the Supergirls at least 3 times throughout the books, and none, except maybe Nynaeve once. None of them from Matt. You know, Matt, thank you for saving our asses. Thank you for getting us out of jail. Thank you for saving us in Farm when you blew the horn. Thank you, Matt, for helping me. But no, what does Egwene do? I love you, Merlin. So now you have to die and give me homage and call me mother. And then when he does, she just says, thank you. I'm like, seriously, Egwene? You're killing me. Just yeah. So the Supergirls not giving Matt his props, or any of the boys props. I mean, hell, even Perrin saves Egwene's butt into Delaran Riyadh. And what does he say? It's just a weave. And she just sits there and is like, oh, so what does she try to do? She tries to bind Perrin in the dream. But no, Perrin's like,
okay, Lancer, we have to
back off. This is mine.
We have to cut this. We have to
Egwene,
cut this out to share with all of social media. Is the rant on this on the rant on this piece? So you definitely took ranting literally, and I think everyone now knows how you feel.
Mary's throwing popcorn.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mary's
I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like we could do a show on Lancer's rant, and maybe we'll do that. Let's do a justice for. I think I saw a hashtag justice for Matt. By the way, we'll do a justice for Matt. We'll do a justice for Matt rant. We'll cover that on a show just for you, Lancer. Really appreciate you calling in, man, and for sharing with us your rant tonight, man. Have a good one. Okay. Okay.
You guys take care. I'm here all week. Later.
Night.
Justice for Matt. Like how Dana said, Norm wins. We have a first-time caller patiently waiting for us. Let's bring Emmy into the show here. Hey, Emmy, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. How you doing tonight?
Hello.
Hey, welcome.
Hey.
So I don't know how you follow Norm's rant there, but you can. But go ahead, tell us what you were calling about.
I super believe in you.
I definitely don't have the passion to follow that.
No
well, I
worries.
was purely just calling just to say that I really love the show. I'm in Sydney, Australia at the moment, so
Awesome.
watching live. And I've been following for a few weeks now, and I really, really enjoy the show. But I wanted to touch on something that Todd said earlier about the slog.
Yeah.
So I'm reading the books through for the first time at the moment, so I'm a relative newbie to the fandom.
Oh no!
But I totally agree with Todd. So I'm right in the middle. I'm in the slog right now. I'm on book 8, Path of Daggers, and I love it. I love the character development. And anyway, I just really, really loved what Todd said and totally agree.
Okay, so first of all, I have to ask you a question. So did you hear all that stuff before that Mary, yeah. So shame on all of my panelists for ruining the book.
I haven't read
New
Spring.
So, no, I'm just kidding.
I haven't read New Spring, so I pressed mute.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Yeah, that's awesome. No, I always feel bad, because every once in a while, I wasn't anticipating Mary's rant to go right to the end of A Memory Light. So
I tried to give enough warning for everybody. And Emma, I am with you. Path of Daggers is probably my number 2 favorite book in the entire series.
Thank you.
Shadow Rising is my number 1 favorite, but Path of Daggers is just brilliant. So enjoy it.
Yes,
totally.
And by the way,
I'm definitely enjoying it.
What is So maybe I should ask you this then, Emmy. So you're going through the books for the first time. Yeah. Are you just as excited about Are you following all the news then about the show itself? And who's your favorite choice? Like they've picked a bunch of actors to play certain roles. Who's been your favorite so far?
Absolutely. So the whole reason that I started reading the series was I have a mate who wanted me to read the books, and I tried to get through Eye of the World maybe would have been 3 or 4 years ago, and I just could not get past that first chapter with Luz Theron. I just couldn't get past it.
Thank you.
It didn't sit with me. So he sent me an article talking about how Amazon Prime was making the show, and I was like, oh, okay, well, Game of Thrones is about to end, so maybe this will be my new thing. So I started reading the books, and I think it would have been about May, and at the end of June they announced that Moraine was going to be played by Rosamund Pike, and I love Rosamund Pike. So yes, I'm following along so excitedly. I think my favorite character so far, I'm a little bit biased, but would be Madeline Madden as Egwene. She's a fellow Aussie, so I can't help but like her. But yeah, following along very excitedly.
That's awesome. Oh, man.
Emmy,
she was doing so good until she didn't say Cad Swan.
Get over it.
You gotta let her finish first, Todd.
Yeah. Let her get to the books now.
Emmy, you need to check out the Isle of Madmen Wat Con in Australia.
Oh, I definitely will check that out for sure. Thank you very much.
Google it. We've got fellow Theorylanders who take part in the con in Australia, and they're always looking for new folks.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
perfect. I'll definitely have to Google that.
There's a lot of new reader podcasts out there too. So we tend to be the spoiling kind, but there's a lot that don't. And so it's, by the way, it's awesome to find out that you found us and been watching us for the last 3 weeks. We really appreciate that.
So
you called in. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
waiting on hold, even though you're calling long distance. I apologize for the wait. But yeah, no,
that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And please do keep watching, and give us another call. We'd love to talk to you again and see how your journey through the books is going. Maybe we'll reach out to you and have you kind of come in as you hit each new book and kind of get a first reader's impression. That'd be a lot of fun. So
that would be amazing.
Yeah, we'd love
that.
We'd love
that. For having me on. I'll keep watching.
Yeah, please do. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and such, and send me a note and just remind me who you are. I'd love to kind of ping you and have you come back on and, like I said, give us a new reader's impression. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
For sure. I just joined the Discord, so I'll message you in there.
Oh, excellent. I appreciate that, Amy. Thank you very much. Have a good night, okay? Or a good day, I should say.
No worries. You too. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
So cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. We haven't had a lot of new readers call in, so that's a lot of fun. It would be awesome to have her come back in and give us an opinion.
We'll be a bit better about warning about spoilers.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Well, let's. We're gonna bring another caller or in here, and it's Nick. Let's bring Nick. He's been waiting a long time. Let's see what he has to say. Hey, Nick. Welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm glad there was a caller between me and Lance, so I don't think I can follow that up.
Yeah.
That rant.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure anyone could have followed it up very well. And Norm did an excellent job. So what's
Yeah,
on your mind?
I was looking for that. Yeah. No, my rave is my positive thing is on the casting so far. I absolutely think they've hit the casting out of the park.
Yes.
I absolutely love all the casting, even people who I never envisioned in the roles. Like I can see them perfectly in the roles.
Yeah.
The more cast photos and more photos we get of them and their, like on set, it just makes me love the casting more and more.
Yeah.
For
sure.
I told people that Perrin would be fine, that they would bulk him up, and they did.
Yeah, for sure.
He looks absolutely nuts.
So what's your
my rant is
your rant?
My rant is on these people who still cling to this misguided notion that the show is somehow PG-13. Like Nablis covered it in one of his videos, and so did some of the another YouTuber whose name escapes me right now. Sorry. But it's like we know the show was like, I've had people tell me on like Facebook groups that, oh, there's like no nudity, there's no sex, it's all fade to black, and I'm like, what are you talking about? There's nudity all throughout the books, and it's like there's no violence. That's R. I'm like, exploding heads is not. Do My Wells is worthy of an R/M rating on its own. And you throw in nudity, you throw in the bathhouse scenes, you throw in all that other stuff, all the violence, all the death, the Trolloc cooking pots, the horror elements. It's I'm sorry, like I'm sorry, and anybody who still thinks it's PG-13 after having all of this pointed out to them, like I don't know how to deal with people whose reading comprehension is at, I'm trying to be nice, is maybe not mature enough for real time, let's just say.
Okay, well, I'm curious for everyone that's in chat. I want to ask everyone Nick's opinion here. Show me what your rating is you think the show's going to be. Not what you want it to be, but what do you think the show is going to be from a rating perspective? I'm kind of curious. You think this is going to be TV mature R, or do you think it's going to be somewhere in the PG-13, 14? Yeah, lots of everyone's kind of the MARR. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like you're preaching to the choir at this point, because everyone here. By the way, everyone's watching to see what Sarah says. Everyone's typing it in, going, "I wonder if Sarah's going to answer. I wonder if she's going to answer."
She's going to answer it WAFO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the icon she used.
I mean, I'll be honest and say that I hope. Go ahead, Nick.
Go ahead.
No.
No, I was just. No, Nablis said wheel of boobies.
Oh, geez. I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's going to go more in the direction of The Witcher, where it's like story appropriate and not sort of like Game of Thrones, where it's just gratuitous breasts every which way.
Right.
Although I did appreciate real breasts in Game of Thrones. I do sort of hope they focus on story. But
yeah.
To your point, I think some of that violence and the sex and all of that is part of the story. So yeah, I hope they don't cut any of it.
Well, Nick, I thank you very much, man, for calling in and for waiting for the time you did. Did you want to make one last comment?
Yeah, I disagree with Nablis, and I think that the Waygates thing conclusively proves that we are getting both books in season 1. I do think we are obviously going to get a new spring flashback. The casting confirms that. I think they're going to fit that in there.
Okay.
I think we're going to get that flashback, not all new. What?
I was gonna say we should do that. We should do it. We've covered the episodes before, but we should try this again. Clearly, everyone's has like different opinions. I can see, like, I know I could bring Joe on, and Joe would have like 7 new opinions about how this is going to be all split up.
7 new opinions. Yeah.
By the way, I appreciate you always calling in.
You should do one.
Yeah, we're gonna do another one. We're gonna call it episode Jenga, and we'll talk about how this might work out. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll do that. Hey, Nick, very much appreciate you as always. Waiting on and calling in, man. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Bye bye.
Have a good one. Bye bye. So our last segment, and I know we're running to kind of, this hour 15, hour 30, but our last segment, we wanted to do this, and I tried to get into it a little bit earlier, but we had great callers, so that was a lot of fun, and this is a live call and talk show, so that is the point. But we call this the Wheel of Game Time. So we have a bunch of topics here, and I'm going to pick a topic based on the number we spin. So let's try this out. Like we tried this once in a live setting. Let's see if we can make this happen. Let's spin the wheel and see what we get here, and then we'll pick a random topic and we'll kind of round table it. Let's go. What is it going to be? 8. 8 is thatch or tile. Mary, thatch or tile?
Why are you asking me? You gotta ask Senbui over there. Ask him. Well,
yeah, Senbui, thatch or tile?
Thatch, always. Always thatch. Thatch.
Thatch or tile, everybody in chat. Thatch or tile. You can play along. Okay, let's try this again. That was a quick one. That was an easy one. Let's spin the sucker again and find
where
out.
Where the stork's gonna roost if there's no thatch? You got to think about the storks.
Tile doesn't burn.
Ebony said tile. I love it. 10.
Tile doesn't burn.
Okay, Saldean farm girls. Are they all they're cracked up to be? Natalia.
I'd say definitely yes.
Yes, you're a yes. Anyone a no for Saldean farm girls?
I really, if I identify with anybody, it's with our favorite wannabe Saldean farm girl.
Are they all to everyone in the chat? Are Saldean farm girls all they're cracked up to be? Yes or no?
I think they surpassed the hype. Personally.
You think they surpassed the hype?
Oh, totally.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I haven't even gone there. I don't even have an answer to this question. Sure. Okay, let's spin it again. Let's find out what happens next. I don't even know what that sounds like live, but I hope it's good. 3. Okay, so we got the meme wall. What's your reaction to the meme wall? I should ask Sarah. Meme wall. What's your favorite meme, Sarah, on the meme wall? Does anyone have a favorite meme on the meme wall? Mary.
I just like the entire concept that they have a meme wall. It just brings, we've been reading this series since a very long time, which we talked about in a previous episode. Some of us have been here since the beginning, and memes are a relatively new concept in the grand scheme of things. And I just love how they have a meme wall.
Isn't the one that was just like Spider-Man? There's like 3 Spider-Man.
Yes, and
they're all looking at each other like,
who can talk to women? And they're
who can talk to women? I love the Spider-Mans. Yeah, Delusions of Grendel threw that out there. Yeah, I love the Spider-Mans. Yeah, the meme wall is great. I think we should like that. I know we've said this like 700 times. We should do an episode where we just like a love of the meme wall and just cover memes.
I actually made back in the day. I made a whole bunch of cat-related Wheel of Time memes. I'll see if I can.
Yes, you did.
Oh, you gotta bring those out. You gotta like.
I'll send them to you so we can
listen.
So we can do something with it.
I distinctly recall there being a dearth, an utter lack of Wheel of Time memes when the last book came out, because I was trying to brag on Facebook about like, here I am reading the last book. I had no picture. Nothing.
Okay.
There was no entertainment.
Okay, we'll spin this wheel one more time tonight. Let's see what it brings us. I love how Taylor's getting into the production with his hand there. It's like my favorite part of this whole thing. 16. I'm seeing least favorite book. Todd, go. Least favorite book in the Wheel of Time series.
Oh.
Natalia, go.
God.
Least favorite book.
Crossroads.
Yeah, Crossroads.
Ooh, yeah, Mary, least favorite book.
Towers of Midnight.
What?
Oh, no.
Stuff you say. I feel like sometimes you guys just say crap to like get a reaction out of me. Towers of Midnight. That's ridiculous.
What's yours?
Anyways, my least favorite book. Everyone. Oh wow, Crossroads. Yeah, it's gonna be like it's gonna be somewhere in that Crossroads Winter's Heart area. They don't register for me. But again, that's probably because I've read them the fewest times as compared to everything else. So, but Towers of Midnight, really, Mary? That's offensive.
It has my very least favorite scene in the entire series, and it drags the entire book down.
That's awesome. Okay, so this is I want to bring this up to everybody. I told you there's going to be some giveaways for my birthday coming up next Wednesday. For those of you that missed the beginning of the show, we're having Daniel Green here with us next Wednesday. He's going to be our special guest. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a whole review of all the news, and we're going to do a giveaway. I told you what the giveaway was going to be. It's going to be a ticket to 2021 JordanCon. All you have to do is be a subscriber to this channel, like this video, and leave us a comment. And that comment can pretty much range anywhere. Tell us what your favorite episode, who your favorite panelist is, or what your favorite Wheel of Time topic or book is. And then the second giveaway we're going to do next week, if you're here live, we're going to pick a random person that is commenting throughout the show. And at the end of that show, we'll do both of these. We'll kind of do giveaways throughout that show. Again, we're going to do giveaways through all of the social media channels. So go follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I might even throw one for the folks on Discord. You guys are awesome. So follow us in those locations. You'll hear more about these. I'm sure I might even do some videos about what's going to happen with these giveaways. We might even have some Terangreal night lights that come up as really fun giveaways. And we'll do, I'm kind of curious, whatever we want. I mean, we've thought about going the kind of the merch route of like doing some t-shirts, Watt Ups in chat. I saw him like the Watt, I don't know what we'd call our water bottle that sounds as cool as his Watt Upper bottle. That's that's better. I don't know that the Dusty Wheel has a cool way to say that, but maybe we'll do a water bottle, maybe do some t-shirts, but we're going to find some cool ways. I even have some fun Wheel of Time stuff around, and maybe I'll think of some cool things that we can give away. So yeah, please do join that. Go follow us on those. Again, be back here for our Watt Wednesday, first episode of the month, and we're going to cover all the news. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll do it live. Like I said, all this week's going to be fun for me to just find ways to give you guys some cool crap because it's fun for me. So by the way, to my guests, thanks for playing Wheel of Game Time. That was a lot of fun. I actually love how quick we need to do that more often, and just these quick topics. I love that, like hits in the chat and everything. And I appreciate rants and raves for those of you again that came in and did rants and raves. Norm, oh my gosh, we have to cut out that piece and throw that up on Instagram. That is an awesome Justice for Matt rant that you gave us. Really appreciate that. And thank you everyone for showing up in chat for us this live. Really appreciate it every week. We love how the audience is growing, and I love bringing you guys in, and especially to our caller, Emmy, first time reader. We're going to have you back on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll do a first time reader reaction to stuff that's going on. We'll figure that out. That's going to be great. So anyway, I'll see you three next week. Daniel Green, that's going to be fun, right? And to everyone else, as we say at the Dusty Wheel, good night and smash to black.
If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.